Hey, this is Rich Wilkerson Jr. in Miami, Florida at VOUS Church, and I want to take a moment, if I could, invite all of the pastors and the leaders out there watching to come and join us this January in Miami for 2 days of training and impartation. It's the first time ever we've done something at VOUS Church, but we're calling it the VOUS Friends and Family Pastors Assembly. You know, I think it's really important that we as leaders, that we have other colleagues, other brothers and sisters in the faith doing the work together. And part of just coming together, man, you get sharper, you get better, you grow, you find encouragement. But not only that, I want to remind you about your calling. You're called to be a shepherd. When you study that word pastor in the Greek, you find that word shepherd associated with it. And shepherding, well, it's really about three things. It's about leading, feeding, and protecting. And I want to help you lead better. We want to help you feed better. And we certainly want to help you protect better. I think we're going to do that together. So why not get registered right now at the VOUS Friends and Family website? Bring yourself, bring your spouse, bring your team. It's limited spots available, but I know it's going to make a massive difference in your life. Can't wait to see you this January, Miami, Florida, Pastors Assembly. Stephanie, just weigh into that a little bit. Like we live in you just used that phrase. I like that. We kind of mentioned that before, like hustle culture, 24/8, never not working. Talk about that, just the culture that we live in, because I think you started today's talk with just deception. And so many lies out there today that are promising us, work really hard and you're gonna find fulfillment, but we're looking at a world that's never been more dissatisfied, more depressed. We got more stuff, but it seems like our souls are empty, depleted, lost.
Yeah, because even when you think about it, right, even the creation of the soul, how that came about, right? You have God who formed the body, and then he breathed into the body the spirit of man, and then man became a living soul, right? So even the creation of it itself, you see this connection with earth and spirit. And we always have to come to this place of realizing, okay, what makes me aware of my emotions? What makes me aware of where I am mentally and what is fighting for that space, right? Everything is wrestling for your soul, but it is connected to, one, I'm on earth because of an assignment, but this assignment is also coming from a spirit realm. And so when we get into this hustle and bustle culture, it goes back to that deception of, I'm looking for something to satisfy my soul on earth that can only be satisfied when it's connected to its source. And so if I'm constantly, trying to find it, God wired us for himself, right? We came as a result of him speaking to himself. Let us make man in our own image. Everything outside of its source dies, right? When God spoke to the water and told, let the water bring forth its kind, you take out the water creatures from the water, they will die. And so where we get lost is that we are searching in the world what we can only get from our source, which is God. So then we're pursuing the job, pursuing the next thing, and it never satisfies because it was never designed to satisfy the soul. And so we have to have awareness of what is fighting for the soul and what truly feeds the soul.
I'm thinking about Jesus' words when he says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but forfeit his soul? I think sometimes I heard a lot of that taught, and sometimes it only gets taught one-dimensionally, sort of like in a binary way, like heaven or hell. No doubt that is a good application, but there's also something that Jesus is speaking about, the here and now, right now, that you can strive and strain and get all of these things, but in the process, lose your very self, lose the truest part of who you are. We have this little phrase, and it's in one of the songs that we wrote, and it was Luke. I love Luke Berry, who's on our team. He's like the best ever with words. I'm obsessed with the way that he frames things. And he says it this way in the song. He says, lose the world and gain your soul. And there's this idea of throwing away what the culture would tell you is the pathway to happy, healthy, holy, and discover, wait a minute, God actually has a beautiful pathway. And it's finding your soul by losing the pattern of this world. Paul says, do not be conformed to the pattern of this world. What's the pattern of this world? Hustle culture, never not working. There's actually a cadence to creation and a cadence to God's grace that we have to get in line with.